The tray slipped. Hot coffee splashed across the tiles. The pregnant waitress froze, her one good hand trembling, the other trapped in a sling against her chest. A customer's voice cut the air like a knife. "Look at this. Can't even carry a cup. Who let her work here?" The diner went silent. Forks stopped midair. Every eye turned toward her. And then, her manager's voice. Louder. Crueler. "You drop one more thing, girl, and you're out. You hear me?" She didn't answer. Didn't even look up, because she knew arguing wouldn't save her job. What no one in that diner knew was that in the back corner booth, a man had just set down his cup of black coffee. He'd been watching everything, listening. And that man wasn't just another customer. He was the true owner of the diner. And what he was about to discover about this waitress would change everything. But what came next was even worse. The diner buzzed. Forks scraped. Bacon popped. The jukebox hummed. But all eyes were on her. Tasha, 8 months pregnant, belly heavy, arm in a sling, balancing plates with the other. A customer muttered just loud enough, "Look at that, a waitress with one hand? What's next? Dropping my food on the floor?" His buddy laughed. "Man, this place going downhill quick." Laughter spread. Quick. Cruel. Tasha's lips pressed tight. She didn't answer, just shifted the tray higher. From behind the counter, Rick's voice, sharp, cutting. "Table 6, move it, girl, or you're out." Her step slowed. Just for a second. The college kid by the window whispered to his friend, "Why is she even working like that?" "Probably wants pity tips," the other muttered. A mom at the counter hugged her toddler closer. She didn't speak, just turned away. Silence. Heavy. Thick. Tasha stopped at the booth, set the coffee down, her good hand trembling. The man in the booth leaned back, Braves cap low. "One hand and a baby on the way? Lord help us," he laughed. "Better hope she don't drop that plate on your lap." Rick smirked. Didn't stop it, didn't care. "Hurry it up," he barked again. "Ain't nobody got time for your sob story." Her jaw clenched, she stared forward, said nothing. The whispers grew. "This is sad." "Nah, it's pathetic. Girl like that shouldn't even be here." And through it all, silence from her, because to her, this wasn't pride, it was rent. Baby clothes, gas money, survival. And to Rick, this was power. His show, his stage. But in the far corner, a man sipped his coffee. Denim jacket, eyeglasses catching the light. He hadn't touched his grits, hadn't blinked since the first laugh. Because this wasn't just a diner to him. It was his diner, his walls, his floor. And the way they were treating her, it was about to change everything. But what came next was even worse. Marcus Daniels sat quiet in the corner booth. Denim jacket, baseball cap pulled low. Just another face, or so they thought. To them, he was nobody. To the diner, he was everything. The real owner, undercover, watching, listening. Rick strutted past, wiping his hands on a rag. His voice carried, "Move faster, Tasha. Customers don't tip for pity." Tasha adjusted the tray against her hip. Her sling pressed tight. She didn't answer, just kept moving. From across the aisle, Kayla whispered low, "Girl, why you still here? He don't respect you." Tasha forced a smile. "Bills don't pay themselves." Mr. Alvarez, the old vet in the booth near the window, set his coffee down hard. "Leave her be, Rick. Girl's working harder with one arm than you ever did with two." Rick shot back, fake grin. "Don't worry about how I run my floor, Alvarez. Drink your coffee." Marcus said nothing, just sipped his own. Eyes sharp, every word, every gesture. Filed away. The whispers continued. A college kid near the jukebox muttered, "Man, this is messed up. She's pregnant?" His friend shrugged. "Manager don't care. He just wants his shifts smooth." Tasha reached a booth, set down plates carefully. The customer smiled soft. "Thank you, sweetheart. You take care of that baby." Her eyes dropped. "Trying my best, sir." Rick's voice cut in again, sharp as a blade. "Don't stand there chatting. Move." The diner went quiet, too quiet. Kayla whispered again, almost trembling. "He's gonna run you down, Tasha. You know that, right?" Tasha's reply came steady. "I'm not here for him. I'm here for my kid." Mr. Alvarez leaned forward, his voice heavy. "Rick, one day you gonna push too far." Rick laughed. Loud. "Fake. What are you, her lawyer?" Marcus's jaw tightened under the cap. Not a word. Not yet. Because nobody knew. Not Kayla, not Alvarez, not even Tasha. The man they thought was just another customer was the one holding the deed to the diner. The one with the power to change everything. But for now, he stayed silent, watching, measuring, because what came next was about to expose them all. The lunch rush hit hard, plates stacking, orders piling, and Tasha, 7 months pregnant, kept moving. One arm in a sling, no complaints, just quiet strength. But Rick leaned on the counter, smirking, watching. "Rick," Tasha called, "can you help me lift this tray? It's heavy." Rick chuckled loud enough for the whole diner to hear. "Not my job. You wanted the hours? You figure it out." The tray sat there. 4 burgers, fries, milkshakes. Customers staring, waiting. Tasha adjusted her balance, tried to hoist it with one hand. The sling slipped. From the side booth, Kayla whispered under her breath, "Girl, he's setting you up." Tasha whispered back, "He's been trying." Rick's voice cut across the diner. "Maybe if you weren't so stuck up, you wouldn't be struggling right now." Kayla frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" Rick smirked. "She knows what I mean." He leaned closer to a customer. "Turned me down more than once. Acts like she's too good. Now she's paying the price." The diner froze. Mr. Alvarez, the old veteran who'd been coming here for 20 years, slammed his coffee mug down. "You talking about what I think you're talking about?" Rick sneered. "Mind your eggs, old man." Tasha kept her head high, didn't respond, didn't give him the satisfaction. She picked up the tray one plate at a time. Silent, steady. But the whispers started. From the booth by the window, "She shouldn't even be working like that. Pregnant, broken arm, it's irresponsible." From another table, "Yeah, looks sloppy. Place is going downhill." Tasha heard every word, but she didn't break. Marcus sat in the corner booth. Jeans, baseball cap pulled low, looked like just another customer. But his eyes, they were locked on Rick. Measuring. When Tasha walked past, Marcus slid a 20 under his coffee cup. "Keep the change," he said low. Soft, respectful, her lips parted. She gave the smallest nod, but before her hand could touch the bill, Rick's hand shot out, snatched it, stuffed it into his apron. "House policy. Tips go through me first." The diner gasped. Kayla muttered under her breath, "That's straight up robbery." Rick spun around. "What was that, Kayla?" Kayla sat back. Shook her head. "Nothing." Tasha didn't argue, didn't fight. She just kept working. But Alvarez wasn't letting it slide. "You think you're a man, treating a woman like that? One day you'll choke on your own pride." Rick smirked. "You want another cup of coffee, or you want to mind your damn business?" Alvarez pushed his glasses up. "Boy, I fought in wars. I've seen men like you fall flat on their face." Rick snapped his fingers, loud, sharp. "Coffee refill, Tasha. Now." Tasha turned, no words. She picked up the pot, moved table to table, careful, calm. Her silence screamed louder than anything she could have said. The customer's eyes followed her every step. And Rick? Rick just stood there, grinning, like a king who thought his crown was safe. Ever worked somewhere you gave your all and still got treated like dirt? Ever had a boss take your sweat, your dignity, and act like you owed them more? Drop a comment. I know somebody out there has lived this. But the truth? This was only the beginning. The breaking point was closer than anyone thought. Saturday, noon. The diner was packed. Every booth filled. Plates clattering, orders stacking, voices everywhere. And then, it happened. Tasha stepped out from the kitchen, coffee pot in her good hand. Her sling slipped, her balance wavered. Hot coffee splashed across a man's crisp button-down shirt. He shot up from his seat. "Are you kidding me?" His voice cut through the room. "What kind of dump hires someone like this?" The diner went silent. Forks froze mid-air. Tasha whispered, "I'm sorry, sir. I'll get you a towel." But he wasn't calming down. Sorry. I'm soaked. Look at this shirt." He jabbed his finger toward her belly. "She shouldn't even be working like this. It's a liability." Rick's voice roared across the floor. "That's it. You're done. You're fired. Effective immediately." Gasps. Someone at the counter muttered, "Did he just fire her? Like that?" Tasha's lips trembled, but her voice, steady. "I need this job, please." Rick folded his arms, grinning, "Then crawl for it." The diner went still. No clatter, no chatter, just silence. All eyes on her. Kayla's whisper broke the tension. "Rick, don't do this." Rick snapped. "Stay out of it, Kayla, or you're next." The man with the coffee-stained shirt sneered. "Fire her. She shouldn't be here anyway. Look at her, sling, belly out to here. A mess." Alvarez slammed his cane on the floor. Enough. That girl works harder with one good arm than you do with two, Rick smirked. Sit down, old man. Your free refills don't buy you a say in my diner. Tasha's eyes watered. But she didn't beg, didn't argue. She whispered again, I need this. Rick leaned forward, loud, cruel. Then get on your knees. Show me how bad you need it. Gasps again. A mother covered her child's ears. The man at the counter muttered, This is messed up. Tasha gripped the sling tighter, her voice soft. I'm not crawling for you. Rick laughed. Then you're done. Out. Right now. The diner froze. Every customer, every worker, all watching one woman, about to lose everything. And then, from the corner booth, a chair scraped. Marcus stood, baseball cap still low, jeans plain, just another customer, until he opened his mouth. And what he said next flipped the entire room upside down. The diner went silent, not the kind of silence you hear late at night, but the heavy kind. The kind where every breath feels loud. Marcus's voice had cut through it all. That's enough, Rick. Pack your things. Rick laughed, a dry, ugly laugh. You serious? What are you, some hero regular? Marcus didn't move, didn't raise his tone, didn't blink. He just said, Try me. The whole diner stiffened. Rick's smirk stretched wider. Oh, I'd love to. Who even are you? Marcus reached up, slow, deliberate, pulled off the old baseball cap, handed his keys, heavy, jingling, to Kayla behind the counter. And then came the words that flipped the room inside out. The owner, the man who signs your checks, and the man who just heard everything. Gasps, tables shifted, phones came out fast, screens lighting up, recording every word. Rick froze. You're Marcus Daniels? Marcus's stare was steady. Yeah. The one who built this place from nothing, the one who gave you a chance, and the one who just watched you humiliate a pregnant woman with a broken arm. The words landed hard. Tasha's hand trembled at her side. Her lips parted, no sound. Kayla whispered behind the counter, Oh my God, he's the owner? Mr. Alvarez slapped the booth with his palm. I told y'all somebody bigger was watching. Rick staggered back, grabbing at straws. Wait, Marcus, man, you don't understand. She's clumsy, always messing up orders. I was just keeping standards. Marcus stepped forward. Standards? Is that what you call stealing her tips? Standards? Forcing her to choose between her job and your bed? The diner gasped again. One woman at the counter muttered, He really said that to her? Rick's face turned red. That's a lie. She wanted the hours. Tasha's voice finally broke the silence, quiet, shaky, but strong enough. All I ever wanted was respect. Every head turned, even Rick's excuses died in his throat. Marcus locked eyes with him. You hear that? Respect. Something you'll never understand. Rick's laugh cracked again. You can't just toss me out. I've been running this diner for years. You need me. Marcus shook his head. No, Rick, I don't need you. This diner doesn't need you. She doesn't need you. The only thing you built here was fear. The room shifted. Customers muttered. Yeah, I seen him yell at the staff before. Always had a problem with the waitresses. Marcus raised his hand, and just like that, the whispers stopped. You're done, Rick. Right now. Walk out. Rick sneered. This place'll crumble without me. Marcus leaned closer, calm, final. No, Rick, it'll finally stand tall without you. And then a clap, slow, heavy, from Mr. Alvarez's booth. Clap, clap, clap. One by one it spread. Customers at the counter, a couple in the back, even the fry cook stepped out, back wiping his hands, nodding. Rick's face drained. He wasn't feared anymore. He was finished. Marcus turned to Tasha. You're not losing your job. You're gaining a family. This diner, my diner, will treat you with the dignity you deserve. Tasha's tears slid, but her smile fought through. Thank you, sir. Marcus shook his head. Don't thank me. This is what you always deserved. Rick tried one last time. You'll regret this, Marcus. You don't know what you're doing. Marcus's answer was sharp. I know exactly what I'm doing, cleaning house. And with that, Rick's reign ended. But justice wasn't finished yet. Because what came after Rick walked out that door shook everyone even harder. The door swung half open as Rick tried to storm out, but Marcus's voice cut him down one last time. Not so fast. The diner froze again. You could hear forks drop onto plates. Rick turned, furious. What now? I said I'm leaving. Marcus's tone was ice. No, you're answering. Rick laughed nervously. Answering what? Marcus pointed, not at Rick, but at the staff. At them. At her. At this entire room you've been poisoning. Kayla's voice rose from behind the counter. You took our tips, Rick, week after week. Another waitress shouted from the back kitchen. You cut my shifts when I wouldn't go out with you. Gasps rippled. Phones lifted higher, red record dots glowing. Rick raised his hands. Come on, y'all, don't listen to this. But Mr. Alvarez slammed the table. You gonna call us all liars? I've been sitting in this booth for 2 years watching you humiliate that girl. Enough's enough. Tasha's voice shook, but she spoke anyway. You told me the only way to keep my hours was to do things I said no to, and when I refused, you gave me double shifts with one good hand. Silence. Tears slid down her cheek. Rick stammered. That's not how it happened. Marcus cut him off. Save it. You don't get to spin this. Not anymore. The customers weren't just watching now. They were testifying. One man shouted from the corner. I brought my kids here last month. Saw you yell at her for being slow. She was carrying 3 plates with one arm. My daughter asked me why the mean man was so angry. A woman at the counter spoke next. I stopped coming here for weeks because of how you treated her. But now I know it wasn't just me. Rick's face burned. He spun toward Marcus. You're really going to destroy me in front of them? Over her? Marcus didn't blink. Over her. Over every single one of them. You don't get to call yourself a manager if all you manage is cruelty. The clapping started again. Stronger this time. Rhythmic. Demanding. Rick looked around. No one was on his side. Not a single person. He turned for the door again, muttering, You'll regret this. Marcus's voice followed him. No, Rick, you'll regret everything you did, because this doesn't end with you walking out. The phone's recording told the rest. By nightfall, the clip would be everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, a pregnant waitress standing strong, an abusive manager exposed, an owner revealing the truth in front of a packed diner. Tasha whispered to Marcus, barely audible, Why'd you stand up for me? Marcus leaned close, his words simple. Because silence protects the wrong people. The room went quiet again, but this time it was the kind of silence filled with respect. But even with Rick gone, the real test was just beginning. Because what Marcus did next would change Tasha's entire life. The clapping still echoed when Rick stormed out. Doors slammed, silence returned. All eyes turned to Marcus, and then to Tasha. She stood frozen, her good hand gripping the counter. Breath shallow. Her lips trembled as she whispered, Did that just happen? Marcus walked closer, his voice soft now. Yeah, it happened, and it's done. He's not coming back. Tasha shook her head slowly. Tears slid down her cheeks before she could stop them. I thought people like you didn't see women like me. Marcus tilted his head. What do you mean, people like me? Her voice cracked. Men with money, men with power. Y'all walk in, eat your food, leave your tips. But you don't see the ones breaking their backs to keep it all running. The diner was dead silent. Even the fry cook had set his spatula down, arms crossed, listening. Marcus leaned in, steady. People like you raised people like me. Gasps, murmurs. Phones went up again. But Marcus wasn't performing, he was remembering. I grew up watching my mama, standing behind a counter just like this. Apron stained, shoes worn out, smiling at customers even when her feet were bleeding. She kept food on my plate by serving food on theirs. His hand tightened on the counter. She never got thanked, never got promoted. Folks disrespected her too. And I swore if I ever made it, I'd come back for women like her, women like you. Tasha's knees buckled. She sank onto the stool, hand covering her mouth. Kayla whispered, Lord, from behind the register. Even Mr. Alvarez, the old veteran, wiped his eyes. Marcus turned to the whole diner. From this day on, Tasha isn't just some waitress you can push around. She's the shift lead. She runs this floor, and her medical bills? Covered. By me. By this diner. Gasps erupted again. One customer shouted, God bless you, man. Another raised their coffee mug. To Tasha. Tasha tried to speak, but her voice cracked. I don't know what to say. Marcus crouched down so he was eye level with her. Don't say anything, just breathe, and know you're finally being seen. Her shoulders shook as she whispered thank you. Weeks passed. The neon sign still glowed. The coffee still poured. But something had changed in that diner. On the wall by the entrance, a new photo appeared. Tasha, smiling, baby boy cradled in her arms. Underneath, a small caption, "Family comes first." Customers stopped to read it every day. Some snapped pictures, some even cried. Because it wasn't just a slogan, it was a promise. And then came the interview. Local Atlanta news picked up the story. Clips went viral. Millions watched as Marcus said words that lit up timelines across the country. Respect isn't a bonus you earn. It's a birthright. And if you can't give it to the people who serve your food, maybe you don't deserve to be served at all. Phones buzzed, comments flooded. One line kept getting shared over and over. People like you raised people like me. But here's the real question. How many diners, stores, or offices across America are still hiding their own Rick? And what would happen if the right person finally stood up and said, "That's enough"? So let me ask you something. How many times have you walked into a diner, seen a waitress moving a little too slow, and thought to yourself, why can't she keep up? How many times have you judged somebody without knowing the storm they were carrying behind that smile? This story isn't just about Tasha. It's about every single worker in America who's holding it together with duct tape and prayer, while folks with power act like their pain doesn't matter. Drop a comment if you've ever had a boss who treated you less than human. You know the kind. The ones who pile work on you but never say thank you. The ones who make you feel small, like you don't count. I'll be reading every single one, because these stories, they deserve to be heard. And if this hit you in the gut, if you've ever been overlooked, underpaid, disrespected, share this video. Not for clicks, not for views, but for every waitress, every cashier, every nurse, every mom working doubles just to keep the lights on. Because respect isn't charity. It isn't a bonus. It isn't something you give to people you like. It's a right, a birthright. And if you don't believe that, then maybe it's time you ask yourself why. So tell me, have you ever been Tasha, or have you been Rick? Think hard, and then write it down.